Hello, I'm Zhang Shuhui. Before taking management 50-50, I thought responsibility was more of an external normative requirement than an internal value-driven one. However, early in the course, especially during the stakeholder simulation in the week 4, my perception was profoundly challenged. In that activity, I first realized that in the real world, ethical judgments are far more than just compliance. For example, when dealing with some issues in the business world, we must consider the interests of multiple groups. However, these interests often conflict with each other and cannot be simply determined by a set of unified rules. This made me realize that true professional responsibility requires us to break away from the mindset of compliance is justice. Instead, we should use a systemic perspective to find a balance and response in complex and diverse interest relationships. And my understanding depends further when discussing cultural humility in week 7. Cultural humility is the ability to be open and respectful to others' people's cultures while recognizing the limitations of one's own cultural background and being willing to learn from others. This theory made me reflect on how I often assumed that I could fully understand the other party when dealing with cross-cultural situations in the past. Without realizing my own cultural limitations, and the cultural humility involves a lifelong commitment to self-assessment and learning. This concept fundamentally reshaped the way I view my work in diverse teams and how to make decisions that are not only inclusive but also socially considerate. In addition, in the process of completing assessment 2, I also gained a deeper understanding of the theory learned in class. For example, by applying the pathos analysis framework learned in class, I realized that any key issue must be systematically considered in a broader political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal context. At the same time, in the writing process, I also applied the stakeholder theory learned in class. Through this process, I realized that as a responsible professional, we must listen carefully and balance the concerns of all stakeholders. Overall, this writing text allowed me to have a deeper understanding of the true meaning of responsible professionalism in practice. And in my future career, I will more consciously integrate responsible professionalism into my daily decisions and actions. I will strive to find more balanced and sustainable solutions among various conflicts of interest. For example, if I have the opportunity to promote a new project in the future, I will not only consider corporate profits, but also simultaneously I will look at the possible long-term impacts on the environment, employees, and the community. I will ensure that my decisions take into account both economic benefits and social responsibility. In this way, I hope to grow into a truly responsible professional. So, thanks. That's all my video reflection.